After expression no longer needs identity, after action moves without motivation, another familiar companion begins to soften. Tension, not effort, not activity. Tension as the strain that accompanies doing, the tightening in the body, the pressure in the chest, the sense that something must be pushed through rather than simply done. For most of our lives, effort and tension felt inseparable. If something mattered, it was hard. If it was worth doing, it required strain. If you weren't tense, you weren't trying hard enough. That belief runs deep. We learn it early. We watch effort modeled as sacrifice. We absorb the idea that ease means laziness, that struggle is proof of commitment. So even when presence settles, even when motivation loosens, tension often remains, quietly, embedded in how we move. I noticed this shift when effort continued, but the strain didn't. I was still doing what needed to be done, still showing up, still responding, but my body wasn't bracing. There was no inner resistance to overcome, no tightening before action. Things were simply happening, and that felt unfamiliar. Effort without tension can feel suspicious at first. We're so used to struggle that ease feels undeserved. If this feels easy, am I missing something? If I'm not tense, am I being careless? If I'm not pushing, will things fall apart? Those questions arise from habit, not from what's actually happening. Effort without tension doesn't mean effort disappears. It means effort is no longer split against itself. Before, effort often came with two movements, one part of you doing the task, another part resisting, judging, or forcing. That split creates strain. Without the split, effort becomes singular. You do the thing. That's it. No commentary, no internal pressure, no self-surveillance, just movement. This changes how work feels in the body. Before, you might have felt tightness before beginning, a need to gear up. Now, there's a simple readiness. You start when it's time to start. You stop when it's time to stop. No internal drama. This doesn't make work effortless. Some tasks still require energy. Some moments still ask a lot of you. But the energy goes directly into the task, not into managing yourself. That's the difference. Tension was never the cost of effort. It was the cost of resistance. Living without tension doesn't mean you never feel strain again. Strain still happens when demands are high, but strain isn't layered with self-pressure. You're not telling yourself you should feel different. You're not adding judgment to exertion. You let the body do what it needs to do, and that honesty reduces exhaustion. Effort without tension is efficient. It doesn't leak energy. Before, so much energy went into convincing yourself to act, criticizing how you were acting, worrying about whether it was enough. Now that energy stays available, not as excitement, as steadiness. This stage often brings a noticeable change in how long you can sustain effort. Not because you push harder, because you're not burning energy on friction. You're not fighting yourself. You're not carrying a second job of managing your inner state. Effort becomes cleaner. This also changes how you experience difficulty. Before, difficulty meant tension. Your body tightened in anticipation. Now, difficulty is just difficulty. Something is challenging. You respond. You don't tense in advance. You don't catastrophize. You don't brace for failure. You meet the challenge as it appears. This makes difficulty more tolerable, not because it's less demanding, because you're not adding suffering to it. Effort without tension also changes how you rest. Before, rest often felt earned. You had to justify stopping. You stopped because you were exhausted. Now, rest becomes part of effort. You rest when rest is needed. No guilt, no bargaining. Rest isn't the opposite of effort. It's a phase of it. This creates a natural rhythm. Action, pause, action. Not forced, not optimized, just responsive. Living without tension also reshapes ambition. Ambition used to come with pressure. You wanted results. You wanted progress. You wanted reassurance. Now, ambition becomes quieter. You still care about what you do, but you're not gripping outcomes. You're not pushing to secure a future. You're engaged with what's here. That engagement has its own momentum. This doesn't make you passive. It makes you precise. You apply effort where it's needed and withdraw it where it isn't. No overextension. No self-neglect. This stage can feel strange socially. People may equate your calm with a lack of drive. They may not see the effort because it's not dramatized. But you're not working less. You're working without spectacle, without proving, without strain. That quiet effort is often more effective. Because it's sustainable. Effort without tension also changes how you relate to mistakes. Before, mistakes triggered tension. You tightened. You tried to correct quickly. You felt pressure to recover. Now, mistakes are just information. You notice. You adjust. There's no internal spike. No identity threat. You don't tense around being wrong. This makes learning faster. Because you're not defensive. Living without tension also affects how you relate to time. Before, time felt tight. Always something to catch up on. Always behind. Now, time feels more spacious. Not because you have more of it. Because you're not rushing internally. You're doing what you're doing at the speed it requires. You're not dragging the future into the present. This removes a subtle anxiety that used to color everything. Effort without tension also changes how you experience responsibility. Responsibility no longer feels heavy. You don't carry it as weight. You carry it as responsiveness. Something needs attention. You attend to it. Then you let it go. You don't hold it mentally once it's done. This makes responsibility lighter without making it careless. You're not overwhelmed because you're not storing everything internally. You're not tense because you're not anticipating future demands. You're responding now. This stage often reveals how much tension was habitual. You may notice moments where the body starts to tense and then releases, not because you intervene, because tension no longer has a role. It doesn't organize effort anymore. Presence does. Living without tension doesn't mean life becomes smooth. Challenges still arise. Effort is still required. But effort isn't a struggle against yourself. It's cooperation. Body, attention, and situation moving together. This cooperation feels natural, not elevated. Natural. And natural effort doesn't announce itself. It just happens. Season 3 is about living from what remains when inner machinery quiets. Presence remains. Action remains. Choice remains. Expression remains. Effort remains. But tension, as a constant companion, is no longer needed. You don't have to brace for life. You don't have to push yourself through it. You can meet it, directly, honestly, with the effort it requires and no more. If you've noticed yourself working without pressure, if effort feels cleaner and less draining, if rest no longer feels like failure, you're not doing less. You're doing without tension. And that changes everything. And if this reflection met something real in you, liking the video helps it reach others who may be learning how to live without carrying strain as proof. If someone came to mind while listening, sharing it may help them feel less alone in this quieter way of working. You're welcome to subscribe if you'd like to continue through this season. Not to eliminate effort, but to notice how life moves when effort no longer hurts, unfinished, and steady.